Hello, this is Module 5, Chapter 3, and for this video assignment, the question, very similar to last module's question, but slightly different. The question was, using the chart provided with shows the evolution of the Sonata da Camera. In your own words, describe how the dance suite evolved into the Sonata da Camera. And I have the chart pulled up here. So it starts with within the era of 1500, and dance music usually came within pairs. You can call it two movements, two sections, but within each movement there were two parts to it, or you can call it two dances that would go along. And the first part, or movement, usually was in duple time, which means that there were usually two beats to a measure. Sometimes you would get the typical common time 4/4, but it could be fast and have a feel of two beats per measure. It was usually slow and stately though, and the rhythm for all this type of dance music, as it says in the title, being called dance music, it's capable of being danced to. So a lot of the music was not too complicated rhythmically, along with the I guess you'd say harmonic side also wasn't too complicated as well. The second movement or part is usually in triple meter, which means 3 beats to each measure. In this one, you have 3/4, 3/8. Those were the typical two that were given. And with the duple, I forgot about 6/8. That also could have been an option. And with this second one, it was a lot more lively, much quicker, and melodically it related a lot to the first dance that happened. And we move on to the early 1600s. This is when the Baroque era is starting to come about, and we now have names for different types of dances that are a part of this suite. And through the list we have the allemande, courante, sarabande, and the gig. And there's several others that could be added, but these are the main 4 that were used in the French suite. And the allemande was moderate medium tempo, and it was usually in duple meter. The courante was much more fast in the triple meter. The sarabande also in triple meter, but it is more slowly. And then the gig, usually always near the end of each suite, is duple meter, fast, and it's often using the fugue-like contrapuntal writing. For all these dances, the rhythms are easy to dance to. You hear a lot of strong, hard beats, very clear to follow along with the music. Eventually, though, we have the sinfonia that would be added to the suite to dance tunes, and usually it's at the front or the beginning of the dance, and sometimes it can be danced to, other times it's written to not be danced to, and it's more of like an introduction into the dance movements. And then also sometimes in this era, the basso continua would have been added to the dance suite, and it became popular in Germany. And to quickly recap, basso continuo, that is the bass line within the music, and it's just a simple bass line. Usually keeps the rhythm going, establishes the chords for every chord that is written into the music. We get to the late 1600s, still in the Baroque era, and we get to the Sonata da Camera. And pardon if I botch this name, Johann Rosenmüller added a movement which he called sonata to the front of the suite. This replaced or altered the first dance. So the sonata basically was similar to the sinfonia. Sometimes could be danced to, other times not, and so it could be thought of as like an introduction to the whole dance suite. With the Sonata Camera, there's always at least two movements, but we look at some pieces and they have, you know, four movements. We even see up to, 8 or 9 movements within each of these dance suites. And there was new dances inserted between movements in the new French suite. In the reading here, I read, in the early years of the 17th century, the pavans, introd, and galliards had been solidly rhythmical. So there's just a few of the dances there. Some of them were already being used. Some of them are sounding new, like the introd. That one, I believe, is one of the new movements that were used. But like the galliards, that one has been around for quite a while. And to finish it off with the new French suite in the Sonata da Camera, there are non-dance movements that would be inserted between movements, and this was used for connection between these movements. It could be used to help just lengthen a piece, to introduce a new movement that's about to be starting up that would be danced to. So there is the evolution of Sonata da Camera. Thank you all for listening in and watching.